It's Kathy White with Lifestyle Locator in beautiful Whistler, British Columbia. We're now coming up towards the end of 2020. COVID 2020 has adjusted our lifestyle and work careers and helped us work from home, and also consider the idea of downsizing and relocating or coming to our community of Whistler, British Columbia, just north of Vancouver, BC, to live full-time, or find a rental investment property that you can tuck away your personal items and then rent it out through a nightly rental service. And such a wonderful lifestyle up here. And being so close to Vancouver, where our guest speaker today, Rowena, is living through gettingittogether.ca. She works throughout the province of British Columbia, even across Canada if she gets called on. So today it's my pleasure to introduce you to Rowena, and we're going to go through a list of questions that Lifestyle Locator likes to put on our blog and engage with our audience to hopefully encourage you to connect with both of us into the future. So please welcome Rowena List. Rowena, maybe you could share with us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Always great to see you. I have a love for Vancouver and an even bigger love for Whistler. So I get the best of both worlds, where I can head up to Whistler for ski season or in the summer for biking and hiking. And it is so close to Vancouver that it makes it so possible. And then in between that, fun time, activity time, of course, is lots of time to be helping people get organized, downsize, clear out their clutter, or help them have a stress-free move. And that's where I think that the two of us working together can be so beneficial.
Excellent. I was thinking about what are the three things that we should know about you from your past experiences of business that you'd like to share with us. How did you get into buying and setting up your company?
Oh, I've had my company for many, many years, and it started with, first of all, just the love of being organized and wanting to help other people get organized. And so I would help them. I'd be at their place and I'd say, well, let's work on your closet, and let's, rearrange your kitchen a little bit to make it more efficient. And so, of course, then that just morphed into a business. That's really the Reader's Digest version, but it morphed into a business. I've been self-employed since I was 19. I've always had my own business of some sort. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I really do help people with going from overwhelmed to calm. And I like to be able to move people through that process so that they can have a lot more time on their hands. And time is freedom. Time gives you the opportunity to have a luxury rental home, to be able to travel, to be outside, or whatever your goals and values are. And if you're not bogged down by stuff, then that gives you that freedom to be able to move forward. And that's my goal, is to be able to help people and serve people to be able to have that same kind of freedom that I have.
Fantastic. And so living in the Lower Mainland, do you find that your projects that when you set up a contract with folks to do the work, do you find, what's the length of time usually that you have to do, on average, most of your projects? Have you found them to be anything from just a day up to 2 weeks or that kind of thing?
Well, Kathy, it's hard to say because it all depends on the scope of the job. So if somebody's lived in their house for 50 years and they still have all of their kids' school memorabilia and baby stuff and every Reader's Digest that they've ever purchased or National Geographic, then of course that's going to take a lot longer than if we're working on a condo and the person is wanting to put it up for sale and we're getting ready to declutter it and stage it and make it so that the client has a stress-free move at the end of all of it. I go in and I work with the client for the day. I can then sort of assess how long it might take to do the project. And then that's when I present it to the client and say, you know what, I think we're going to need at least another 3 days, or maybe we're going to need 10 days if they've clearly been in their place for decades and decades. Everybody's different. And then there's also the maintenance portion of my business, which once we've got a place to the stage that they absolutely love it, where everything has a place and a place for everything, then we just do a maintenance once every quarter or twice a year just to keep it up.
Fantastic. I think that that's a great idea too, to go back and revisit, even just a refresh right now, especially during the COVID year, changing up the look of a house. I have many people that are working with staging companies up here just to keep some of their main furniture pieces and declutter, working with you, the idea that they feel like they're living in a new home,
Yeah.
by sending some of the heirlooms on to family members for them to enjoy now as opposed to later too. Because I know a lot of our collection of antiques or family memorabilia, or right down to jewelry, the idea is that a lot of it has such an emotional connection with us that it's hard to let it go. And I know you go through this process with your business service. It's almost like a life chapter discussion about what is really important to you to have with you today in this life chapter, and what could we free up to share with others. For example, when my parents downsized from their rather large house in Victoria, I put their furniture, their antique furniture, in storage for 2 years because I was unsettled as to where we were going to live. We ended up moving to Whistler, which often has a furnished property. So we didn't need the antiques. And so we sent some of them on to my nieces and nephews, and the rest we let go. That feeling of letting go, you must see it so often, the release of pressure off people's shoulders now, as opposed to waiting too long.
Oh, it's so true, Kathy. I always say to people that they'll feel like they've lost 40 pounds when they work with me in a day, because that whole weight, everything has energy to it. And some of it can be stuck energy and maybe not positive energy. And so why are we keeping these things that don't bring us joy, that we don't like to look at, or that are broken? And we keep them for the three deadliest words, just in case. Well, what? Just in case you're going to use that broken mug and have your coffee in it? No, it's not going to happen. And so it really does release and make room for the things that are important. And what better way to see some of your family members enjoying some of the pieces that you are no longer wanting for yourself or need? Maybe you've outgrown them, and so you pass them on to family members, and then you can see them enjoying it.
Fantastic. So when you're out working in your business community, and certainly I know you connect with a lot of realtors in the community for helping their clients, as we help sellers and buyers kind of relocate to their new properties and evaluate that process. When and I know you have a lot of resources, as we do in our industries, to connect with services and organizations that can help people, in case they want to donate some item to a particular place or things like that. But one of my questions was, often is the case, doing this earlier in our life chapters, as I refer to in this segment, is so important, because by the time I come as a realtor to list a property for sale, or when I'm working with a buyer who's looking at moving into a property, they tend to spend so much money on moving out the things that they never use, and the boxes of books and the things that they think they're going to need in their future property at Whistler is an expense. And often people try and move on their own, and they can physically throw their back out and things like that. So when you have connected with people, is it usually a year before they're making a decision on what they're going to do as far as a real estate transaction, or early as possible, I guess, is when they should meet with you?
Well, Kathy, I wish it was a year, but quite often, true to human nature and procrastination and leaving things to the last moment, people will call me in a bit of a state of panic. And, oh my gosh, I want to put my place on the market and I need to do it right away. And my realtors told me that I need to get rid of the clutter and do a little bit of staging. And can you come in? So, it's better to start the process long before you're even thinking of moving. And then that way you're living in that space with less things, which moves you into that next chapter of, if you are downsizing, to see what it's like to have fewer things around you. Because, clutter is invisible to those around them. They don't see all that extra stuff. And once we start to release that, that's when they start to say, hey, wait a minute, this is opening up this space. This is looking nice in here. Yes, I'm feeling ready to put my place on the market.
Fantastic. And referring back to books, because I know that we're both avid readers, one of my questions for all my lifestyle locator clients that I introduce and interview with is if you were to recommend a book that you're reading right now, if it's related to your business or to your personal joie de vivre, what book would you like to share with us today?
Oh, well, it's one that I access often, and it's called The Four Agreements. And it's just such a great book to live by, where you don't take anything personally, you don't make assumptions, always do your best, and be impeccable with your word. And imagine what it would be like if we all lived with those four agreements all the time. I have had the pleasure of reading a couple of really fun books over the summertime. One of my favorite authors for just a fun fictional book is Maeve Binchy, and she just gets you right into the place of where she's writing. And so she's a good author. If your listeners haven't ever read any of her stuff, I'd really highly recommend that.
Well, super. I'll add both of those website links to the blog so that people can connect with that. And when you're not at work, what are you mentioned that you love to hike, and I know that we've spent time up on the mountain together as well. What are some of your other hobbies that you like to do and would encourage people to explore and try?
Well, I love to be around people. I don't collect stuff, so I collect people, and I like to collect memories. And so having people around me and doing dinner parties, certainly when we're not in these restrictions. So let's talk about when we're not in these restrictions, because I love to travel. I've traveled all over the world, and I love to travel. I like to take my skis with me when I go traveling, or I'll take my hiking boots, or both. And I like to entertain and have people over, get together with friends for a coffee, a good chat, and lots of outdoor activities, snowshoeing and skiing, bike riding. I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I love being out there, so it's great. And then one of my other passions is to help people that are less fortunate. So whether it's shopping for them or cooking for them, taking care of them in any way that I can. It's a good balance. It's nice to not have the stress of so much stuff around you, that it gives you that option to be able to be free and set your goals as to how you want to set them.
A lot of this has to do with our life coaching as well. Sort of often is the case, we run through life and we forget to ask for that help. Mm-hmm. We think we've got it all dialed in, and we listen to we can hear the memories of our parents in our head telling us what to do. And sometimes we need an outside voice from outside of the family and friends that is an objective sort of purview of how we're moving forward. And I think you offer that excellent service with your career background and sort of like life coaching. And so,
yeah, thank you. I feel that I do have that added layer to be able to help people move forward and to help them with coaching and skill coaching and lifestyle coaching. So it's a nice package.
Yes, wonderful. And I know you work with several family members. Say, for example, if a family member is not living here or in a care home, or they have to sell the property, you're very good at working with the family and the collection of siblings that may not necessarily agree on the pathway to the best solution for a parent. And I think it's often like a realtor's role. We're often seen as the objective intermediary that can help facilitate the transaction, or in your case with your business model. So I think that we're very gracious in the way that we've worked for so many years. We understand, and often can help bring an objective viewpoint to our work and to our clients.
I have to agree with you, Kathy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really, it's all those layers that just come in, and life experiences, and being, calm myself when working with people that have either lost a family member, or, moving into a new chapter can be quite challenging for people because they're having to let go of their past and let go of the life that they thought they were going to maybe have moving forward if they're aging. And so it's all about really just being very compassionate and empathetic towards people as they transition into their next chapter, whatever it might be.
And certainly, looking ahead, we are in my Lifestyle Locator blog, I'd like to ask you, where do you envision yourself in the next 10 to 20 years? What do you vision in your pathway forward?
Oh, wow, that's a big question, Kathy. Yeah, so I see a lot of travel in my future, and I'm very passionate about coaching people. So I'd like to be able to do that wherever I travel in the world, whether I'm doing it over Zoom or over the phone. And I really enjoy doing public speaking and giving seminars, and really educating people on the ways to live with less. And one of my favorite sayings is live simply so others may simply live. And there's so many people in the world that just have nothing, that live on less than $1 a day. 50% of the world's population lives on less than $1 a day. And so my passion to be able to help the less fortunate and the people that would love to have some of this stuff that is in my clients' homes, they'd like to have it in their home. And I've partnered up with some of the newcomers that come here from different parts of the world and help them set up their condos and so forth, their apartments. And just, over the next 10, 20 years, continue doing what I'm doing, collaborating with amazing people like yourself, going skiing with people like you, and continuing to help the people that I want to serve.
That's fantastic. I was, looking at the Whistler Mature Action Community Group that I'm a member of as well, and talking about educating and providing seminars, whether in person or via Zoom. Those are some of the things that we're working on, and we'd like to invite you in a future session to speak with our members in the Whistler Sea to Sky and Global Village via Zoom, which is fantastic, to share some of these ideas again later in another session that's more interactive with participants. So we'll be posting that on my blog and in our whistlermac.org calendar of events, because I think it's extremely important to consider moving into 2021 with a bright outlook, like the idea that change is good, embracing the idea that this is not a negative. In fact, out of this global challenge has become a lot of opportunities for people to let go of things or to change their lifestyle. And we get to see it up here in Whistler so much with the idea of leaving a career that they've been doing for years and really embarking on a new, exciting, maybe something different, entrepreneurial, community-based. It's exciting. Like I'm seeing it in a lot of people we've met, and they're like, you know what, it's time for pushing that reset button and just really evaluating what's important in life. So
It's so true. It's the evaluating what is important. And, is it important to have, 25 pairs of black pants? Or is it important to have a couple and then be able to be out there enjoying your life? So I agree with you, Kathy, that reset button, and really just looking for the silver lining in all of this and being grateful for what we do have, not for what we don't have.
Mm-hmm. So in my Lifestyle Locator blog, I like to ask people, what is a product that you're rarely without, aside from your cell phone?
Well, I actually, sometimes I'm without my cell phone because I really believe in being present. So if I'm out for a meal or out for a walk or a hike, I don't have my cell phone on and I'm not checking it. But what am I rarely without? Oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question. I guess let's just say sunscreen. There's always sunscreen in my car. There's sunscreen. I put sunscreen on every single day, even if it's cloudy, because there's still rays that come through and it helps to protect your skin. But there's sunscreen in my car. There's sunscreen on my face, and there's always sunscreen somewhere to be had around me. And I make sure that other people have it on as well.
That's a very good reminder. And in fact, that kind of leads into one of my last questions is I often ask people, what is a life hack? A life hack is sort of a tip that has helped you through the years to succeed in business or in life. And for example, I was a ski instructor for many years up on Whistler and Blackcomb Mountain and an avid sailor. So I would walk around with zinc 50 on my face and on most of my exposed parts of my body when sailing or skiing, because even as you say, in the overcast days, and the wind burn that we would get teaching up on the mountain and out on the sailboat as well, the damage of those rays over the years is accumulative. It doesn't show up today. So I remember as a 16-year-old, we used to put like Hawaiian tanning oil on our skins. And now for many years, I've been very protective about staying out of the sun, out of the heat of the day, and keeping covered. So certainly that would be a life hack from me. What is something that's helped you through your years of career and adventure as a life hack?
As a life hack, having people around me that know more than I do, and really just being able to draw on their knowledge and look up to them, and having those mentors and trying to learn something from everybody that I meet. So really just building those strategic relationships has definitely helped me, because I've been self-employed my entire life. I had a job when I was in high school, but then, as soon as I got out of high school, that was it. I was off and running. And so it's about having that team of people around you that you can call on, and surrounding yourself with really good, positive people that are heading in the same direction.
The idea of soaring with eagles, right? That's the idea. Soar with the people that love and support you, as opposed to the energy. And, often is the case over our years, we've dealt with clients and family that have challenged us through the years, but finding the positive out of those situations and trying to help them, and as much as you can, then stepping back and not taking on the energy of it.
Yeah. Well, and like before, agreements, not taking it personally.
Right.
Not making any assumptions. Always do your best and be impeccable with your word.
What a great way to summarize our chat today on lifestylelocator.ca. You can find us through the website. There's also Anchor FM. I have a YouTube channel as well, several social media accounts for Kathy White. I work as a full-time realtor at Engel and Völkers in beautiful Whistler, BC, although I do refer clients around the province and across Canada, networks around the world, as I have been a realtor for over 25 years now. It's my pleasure to connect you with people like Rowena and other clients, and certainly other resources that are here to help you move forward with your life. So Rowena, is there some last final words you'd like to share with our audience today?
I would like to just say that, eliminate those words just in case. Those are the 3 deadliest words. So if I can leave you with that, to just eliminate those words just in case. It comes with whether it's stuff or other things in life. And this will open up your world to be able to have all kinds of opportunities, so that you can go up to Whistler, maybe find the property of your dreams, and just have a life that is full of riches and gratitude.
Thanks so much, Rowena.
My pleasure, Kathy. Thank you.